Welcome to Untitled TV from Munich. We are here at the IHK, but that doesn't matter. We have something brand new for you guys here, which is the Archos 50 Platinum. That's a beautiful 5-inch smartphone for a really cool price, just €229 with taxes, which is of course quite great for a quad-core processor, Jelly Bean Android installed. We have not an HD but a QHD display on the 5-inch model. It's not an IPS, but you can really see all the colors quite nicely and clearly. We have Bluetooth, micro SD, and so on inside, and it's actually even a dual SIM here in Germany, which is actually not that common. Actually, it says even IPS technology on here, so that's quite nice, but only Bluetooth 3.0. Actually, I can just show you here the technical specs on the back of the device, so you can check that out. But on the front it says, of course, also we have an 8-megapixel camera with flash, and the front camera is actually 2 megapixels. So let's just take the box top off, and then right away we have here our smartphone. I already took off the foil since we already turned it on before to check if there's enough battery, and that we can go on here quickly through checking out the device. But I have also the Samsung Galaxy S4 here, Apple iPhone 5, and the Sony Xperia ZL. The ZL because that's just smaller, and I think I like the device better, even though it's not waterproof. But I mean, I don't care much about the waterproofness, since I don't want to use it in the shower. We have a USB charger here, 800 milliamps at 5 volts inside the box. Also nice, of course, headphones, which are not in here. They're a little bit like the Apple ones, the old Apple ones from the design, but you can see we have a little button here at the microphone where you can answer the calls. Everything is white actually inside the box, even the device is black. It's kind of strange. Micro USB cable also white, but what we also have is a micro SIM to standard SIM adapter, which is quite nice. It says Archos on top, and you even have a little thing here, double-sided tape here in the middle, so you can even use nano SIMs actually with this nano tapes inside here, but since it's even there is a shape inside where you can see where to put the nano SIM perfectly to even use the nano SIM here with this smartphone. There's also some a lot of papers inside here. I'm not going to show you right now, like warranty and so on, which is not that thrilling. There's some telephone numbers if you need any help, so that's of course for a few people probably quite handy. So let's check out the device. I had to look for it here on the table. There's so much stuff lying around here. So that's the device. Slim, awesome, light. Not too light. There's also already the battery inside. Usually it's of course inside the box, but I took it out. It has, I think, 2000 milliamps, so that's totally fine for 5-inch if you want to use it for a whole day. But we will check that actually out in our review and tell you how we felt. We have a microphone here on the front. There are standard Android buttons here on the bottom, which are of course touch. On the top, the 2-megapixel camera, 3.5mm headphone port, micro USB right next to it, so that's also on the top. I like that, to have them on the top. On the back, 8-megapixel camera, it says it just below it. Flash, then volume control, or volume rocker actually. On the bottom there's nothing, and on the side we have the on and off switch, which you can quite nicely press like this when you just want to use the device, and there you see it's right away on. Before we check out the software, let me take off the bottom cover. You just have to peel up the back cover like that. You need strong fingernails for it though, since it's quite nicely on here. This is of course a cheap plastic, but you cannot tilt it through like you would with a Samsung phone, for example. You can see we have the 2G card here and the 2G/3G card inside here that you could put inside, which is standard size, not micro SIM. And then we have the micro SD though, so you can add up to 64 gigs to the 4 gigs internal memory that are inside. Otherwise there's 1 gig of RAM, and the quad-core processor has 1.2 GHz. It's the MediaTek MT6589 as far as I know. So we have a huge battery here, and you can see here that maybe even in the future there will be an extra antenna here on the bottom or anything like that. Yeah, it looks quite interesting. So let's just put it back together and let's see how it compares to the Samsung Galaxy S4 and Apple iPhone 5 and the Sony device. But first, let's just start the camera. So the camera should be in back camera mode. Oh no, it's actually in the front camera mode, so you can see here that the 2-megapixel front camera is not that fast actually, but it's of course fast enough for shooting anything you want, I think. But the quality is quite good because it's really sharp. Again, the same thing here with the back camera, but that's a lot smoother, and you can really shoot here nice videos and pictures, of course videos in full HD. What you can also do is panorama pictures and everything you would do with the Android Jelly Bean 4.1.2, which is actually vanilla on here, so you don't have anything changing here the software, or the Archos didn't change a bit here actually on the software, which is quite nice. So you have a really fast update when there will be a new version coming out. So let me just go back here to the home screen. We have actually the maximum display brightness right now. The sun is not shining. It's 7 p.m. here in Munich, but you can still see the display nicely. It's not too bright, but bright enough, I would say right now. If the sun would be shining, it wouldn't be perfect, I think, but it's working quite smoothly right now, and it just looks actually fine. And it's also fitting my hand nicely, but does it fit better than the Samsung Galaxy S4? So let's just check out here these two devices in the size. And then when I put them right on top of each other, you can see here on this side just about 1 or 2 millimeters, but on the bottom there is quite a difference. But of course the Samsung is more than double the price, with 700 bucks here in Germany when you just buy it in the store, since you want one. Then we have the Apple. Actually, I haven't shown you the thickness. The thickness is actually about the same. So we have the Apple iPhone 5, 4-inch versus 5-inch, not really fair, again, though double the price, or even more than double the price, but you can see here 4-inch to 5-inch, there is again quite a difference, and in thickness the iPhone is losing. And then again here Sony Xperia ZL, since it's not the waterproof version, but still a little bit smaller than the Z. And you can see here actually that in terms of size, again, on the bottom, the Archos loses, but still double the price on the Sony than to the Archos. But of course full HD screen and so on and so on. And actually in thickness you can see here also the Sony is a little bit thicker, I would say, but maybe even the same, I'm not sure. Archos has this nice little wedge feeling around it, so that's makes it look and feel better in your hand. So for example here in the bottom corner it actually feels quite nice, and I think for 200 bucks is a quite good starting up phone. It's a little bit like a Nexus, you could say, I would say actually, but I don't have a Nexus 4 right here right now. But if you don't want a Nexus, this is actually quite nice, but I would recommend the case, since this glossy black back cover is not perfect, I think, to just put around anywhere, and the camera needs some protection maybe also, since it's sticking out a little bit, as you can see. So thank you very much for watching. My name is Balazs. This was the short unboxing of the brand new Archos 50 Platinum smartphone. Till next time, please send in again here from Munich. Thank you very much for watching.